still to come. But the circuit for the 250s, Steve Martin, this circuit will keep showing the circuit. It's a long circuit, lots of overtaking opportunities. As the power of the bikes increases, so do the tactics.
Absolutely. The speed comes up, the slipstreaming comes up, the straights get shorter, the reactions need to be quicker. This is a completely different race. These bikes are completely different as well. These are a lot more souped up, these little 250s, lots of different modifications on them. The one thing we can say is that this year they've all got the same standard ECU. In years gone by, they've had all different electronic packages, but there's an electronic package standardised now.
Let's have a look at what this means when they're actually out on the circuit. And this is the qualification where Magdalena Sarapwech celebrated International Women's Day yesterday by coming top of the pile. She's a fearsome competitor, is Magdalena. But let's just have a look at some of the other key contenders. Andy Muhammad Fadli, the Indonesian on the Kawasaki. He had a good lap time, coming in at 224.994. So the guys are lapping under 230, between 225 and 230.
Absolutely. And there's McLaren on your screen now. Boy, what a qualifying she had. She put it on pole position, Des. Keep an eye on her too, because I'll tell you what, she certainly knows how to ride a motorcycle, and she's not scared of getting her elbows back. Think back to Thailand last year, the last lap. She got her elbows out perhaps a little bit too hard and got a suspension. She served that suspension, she's back, but I'm not suspecting that she's not angry. She wants to show these guys who's the boss.
Indeed she is, and how appropriate for International Women's Day. Pole position for Magdalena Sarapwech, the 26-year-old from Thailand. Let's have a look at some of the other riders. Lucky Hedriansha on the Astra Honda Racing. My first look at Lucky, his first look at this track as well, as he has a look over his shoulder. But a top 5 place in on the grid, not a bad start.
Absolutely, of course, the Astra Honda is a brilliant machine. He raced in the Asia Talent Cup last year, so keep an eye on him. He's onto a winning package, a bike that can win, but I'll tell you what, if he's anything that his name's got to go by, Lucky, watch out. He's going to be in for a good race. 7
of the first 9 riders on the grid are Indonesian. Irfan Adriansa will be 2nd place on the Astra Honda Racing fast lap 224. Here he is, just completing that fast lap. The Indonesians on the Astra Honda. The Honda's looking really, really strong here.
It certainly is. It's looking like the bike to beat out there at the moment. They have always been strong in this class, but we get into it during the race, Des, but there is some talk about some restrictions that could be put onto the top 5. We'll talk about that in the race.
That's in the race, that's for later, but the Honda CBR 250s in 4 of the top 5 positions on the grid. There is the grid. Here is Magdalena Sarapwech. And I think Hui Ling is going to get down on the grid in a moment. But the 26-year-old, sorry, we've just got 1 or 2 slight time issues. We'll get on with things quickly. Magdalena will be on pole alongside her Irfan Ardiansha. Now for Irfan, he's just 20 years of age. He was 15th overall in the Super Sports both last year and the year before, having come 3rd overall in the Indonesia race series and the champion of the Suzuka 4-Hour Endurance in 2016. So clearly he can ride. And this is Andy Muhammad Fadli, bike 108 on the first of the Kawasaki's.
Yeah, absolutely. That Kawasaki brand new into the series last year. They've got a year of development behind them now. So keep an eye on Andy Fadli. He certainly knows how to ride a motorbike. He was 5th in the championship last year, so qualifying on the front row of the grid shows how fast that Kawasaki can be here. So he won races last year, and I reckon he wants to start off by winning here if he can.
He's another teenager, Andy Muhammad Fadli. There's some great talent coming out of Indonesia. We've got a fair variety. We've also got a Chinese Taipei competitor, Kei Lung, in 12th place on again a Honda CBR 250 for the United Oil team. Other competitors from Vietnam, Chao Vietnam, India's Senthil Chandrasekaran, and Malaysia and Chinese Taipei, Liu Junmei also. Well, we've got off to on the formation lap off to us fairly quickly. Things have happened quite briskly here, so let's just have a look at some of the key personnel to look for. Mclada will keep a close eye on her bike 44. Irfan Ardiansha on Astra Honda Racing alongside Andy Mohamed Fadli on the Kawasaki. Row 2 is Arwin Sanjaya, the Thai. Look out for him. He had a great season last year in the 250s. Lucky Hendriansha and Sutipat from Thailand. That's the first 2 rows. Moving on to row 3. Ray Ratukore, another Indonesian. Mohamed Fairozi on his debut in the AP250s. Rafi Topan's a veteran at this level. Malaysia on 10 and 11. Muzuke Mohammed and Izam Iqmal with Chow Kei Lung. Let's keep an eye out for the Chinese Taipei riders. Row 5 has Nazrul Izzat and India's Setu Rajiv, who is again another regular on the ARRC. Anggi Setiawan can be in the leading pack. He's got bags of talent. The Indonesia in 15th place. Cal Vietnam will be looking just to get in the lower reaches. A top 10 berth would be fabulous for him. Senthil making his debut at this level, and Soapol Nilapong completing row number 6. And on row number 7 and 8, it's a big old field. He'll Shahrul Sharas from Malaysia, Sharon Ezwan, Yu Jun Mei on bike number 33, Aaron Harris Herman from Malaysia, Stuart Johnson and Kevin Johnson on the Kawasaki Ninjas 23-24th. They were a long way down in terms of speed in qualification. Aiki Ayoshi completing the 25 starters. It's a very packed grid.
It's a very packed grid, and unfortunately for him, it's a long way to the front. 9 rows of competitors to get through, but one thing we know about this class, the racing is close, the racing is tough, and boy, anything is possible. Mclada, although she qualified on pole, Des, she certainly is not going to have this race her own way, but I'm going to tip her anyway.
Arwin Sanjaya, the Indonesian Astra Honda Racing team. Once again, I called him Thai before. I do apologise, Arwin. And Lucky joined him. Sutipat is the first of the Thais. Do you see, I mean, we keep talking about Mclada. She seems to suck in the energy surrounding her. Everybody talks about her because she's such a terrific talent. She's won championships in the past.
Yep, I guess the thing is she just goes off the screen there, heading around the final corner to head to the start. One thing I did notice when I saw her in her pit box yesterday, she had a big crash at Suzuka in the middle of last year. She's still favouring that wrist. I saw her favouring that wrist. I think she's well past it, but she's still carrying that injury now as they head up to the start line. But those Astra Hondas are beautiful.
Yeah, she came off at Suzuka, missed a couple of rounds, had the suspension. It was quite an eventful season for her last year, wasn't it?
Certainly was. But she's starting 2019 in the best possible way from pole position. 0.1 of a second quicker than Irfan Ardiansha. Average speed 1:37.826. That was in setting the pole. So the flags are on. This is just about ready to go. Everybody's on the grid. When the lights go on, they will get ready, and we are now underway. Asia Production 250, not the best of starts. Irfan Ardiansha and Andy Mohamed Fadli both getting ahead of Mclada. A tentative little start from her as she wobbles into the middle of the pack. In fact, she's been swallowed up by 4 riders and will move into 4th place. What a big moment there from Irfan. He's run wide, but and he's tried to dive up the inside as well, but you can't do that there. 3 or 4 wide as per normal. But look at Andy Fadli. Oh, big incident there. Let's hope that everyone's up. There's a couple bikes down there, Des.
Certainly are. Well, normally they try to keep way out of problems there. Mclada is in the lead, and is that Andy Mohamed Fadli who has the lead?
But Arwin Sanjaya that's up there now. Arwin Sanjaya is there as well. They're just getting those bikes off. Can't quite catch the number of that competitor.
Put them down. Setu Rajiv, I think, or Nazrul Izzat.
Okay, it's number 80-something. I couldn't quite catch it, but we'll find out soon who that faller is.
So plenty of incidents on the first, but you saw Irfan Ardiansha stand himself up pretty high. As Andy Mohamed Fadli does lead the way. Arwin Sanjaya has kept himself out of trouble as well.
Yeah, of course, Andy Fadli, second year on that Kawasaki. We talked about that. big group of riders behind him there. Of course, Owen Sanjaya right behind. There's McLeod. She seems to have recovered a little bit now. One of the Yamahas is up there too. Good to see the Yamahas in the fight at the moment here in the 250 class.
Yamaha YZF R25s are the favourite machine here. Andy Mohammed Fadli on the Kawasaki on the Ninja 250. And he's just pulling away. He's taking Arwin Sanjaya with him, and they've got a little bit of space between them and Muklada. In fact, that's what, 7, 8 bike lengths already.
Yeah. Oh, sits himself up there, runs a little bit too wide as they head out of 14, and that's given Andy Fadli quite a break already on the first lap. That looks like almost half a second to a second now, Des.
Arwin Sanjaya it was who lost his bearings. That means that Muklada, as they come down the long penultimate straight, can just find a little bit of space, but it'll be turning in Andy Mohammed Fadli into the hairpin, which is a spectacular finale to this circuit.
Oh, that was close. Keep an eye on Rafa Topin as well. That was just him in the background there on the 911 machine. He's certainly joined the pack and wants to join the party.
Andy Mohammed Fadli. Lucky Hendriansha is also in that group. That's bike number 12, started 5th on the grid, and well, what was a fairly healthy lead, half a second, has disappeared inside 1.5 straights.
Absolutely. You can see how these 250s move around a lot more than the 150s we were looking at earlier. They, especially in the braking area, they're a lot more sideways because they're approaching at a higher speed. Setup is a lot more critical. These bikes, believe it or not, run Olin's forks, all sorts of different special suspension. They really are trick little bikes, almost like a Moto 2 bike to look at.
Just a little bit of Indian movement for you. I tell you, Setu Rajiv has taken Senthil into a place in the top 15. Setu Rajiv has got himself into the top 12, so good start by the two Indian riders, and Cal Vietnam has also gone alongside them. They've taken advantage of that first corner mayhem. Here is the start once again. Muklada, not a great start, but you want to keep an eye on Irfan Ardiansa in the red livery.
Yeah, absolutely. Great start there. Fadli up the inside, but then it all went crazy, didn't it, as they headed in. Sideways he goes. Doesn't back off, though. Keeps the throttle on out wide, then tries to chop back in, but he can't do it because there's another 10 guys in the way.
But he survived, but a couple have dropped out of the race already.
Andy Fadli up the inside again. A bit of a gap there now. Of course, the number 12, Lucky Indonesia, out front, and what a gap he's got. New to the championship. It's incredible.
It certainly is. It's an 8-lap race, so just a 1.25 laps in, but Lucky Hendriansha, as they come into the penultimate, again, they look over the shoulder. That is such a long straight that you can't trust yourself just to put the throttle down and keep your head down. Yeah.
While we've got a bit of calm in the race, I'll tell you about the new rule that's come in this year as well. It affects the top 5 in the championship, and it affects whoever's leading the championship as we look at a bit of a dice there. Mohammed Ferozi as he heads in. Now the rule is like this: you get if the leader is 25 points in front of the guy in 5th position, his bike will receive an RPM downgrade, so 500 RPMs will come off of the original revs. Now it doesn't matter what bike you ride, it's not dependent on the manufacturer, it's actually if you're the leader of the championship, you will lose 500 revs, and then if you gain another 25 points, you will lose 500 more. So that is going to keep the field close together, and tactics will definitely come into play as the year goes on.
Indeed, the idea is to keep this ultra competitive. You don't want too many stretched out races, which is just what is beginning to happen here. The whole thrill of ARRC has been how ultra competitive all of the categories have been, so fully understand the rule changes. Muklada still in 3rd place. She's not really been able to turn on the power. She's not thinking of this already, is she? I don't want to get too far ahead.
Well, we're still fairly early into the race. I mean, Lucky Hendriansaya has had a brilliant, second lap. But Muklada, she's been around for a little while now. Keep an eye on her. I think things will close up a little bit as we head into it. Andy Fadli, of course, has closed that gap down now, so he's making good time on the man in front, but I mean, Lucky did a great lap time. It's 125.3 a couple of laps ago, so that's why he did make that break. Now the others have got to dig deep. 3
of these top 5 teenagers. So are we expecting a little bit of inexperience, a little bit of craziness popping in somewhere?
Well, I know it was a long time since you've been a teenager, Des, but if you think back and think about how crazy you were, boy, we are going to see some action, because none of these guys want to finish second. They really don't. I mean, you're not happy with that, are you? Because you've got to live with it. Whoa, we've got someone off. That looks like it could be a mechanical failure, some sort of problem there with one of the...
And it's McLeod who is out, and she is fuming.
She needs to move off the track. That's, oh dear me. Unfortunately for McLeod, that's not the start to the championship she wanted. McLeod is out.
McLeod out in race number 1, and when she limps back to the pits, which is not too far away, just the other side of that main straight, we'll get a good idea how big a problem it was for her. But it's been not a great return for her, just back from suspension, pole position for her, but now out due to a mechanical problem. McLeod Sarukwet, even if she doesn't complete a race, she's the story.
Absolutely. It's incredible to see. I can't really pick up what is wrong with that bike, but there's nothing apparent coming out of it, so it looks like she's just rolling into the pits at the moment. So unfortunately for McLeod, it's all over, but Lucky is still out front at the moment. Henry Sayer is doing a great job. Andy Fadley hanging on to him and not letting him go, hanging right on the back of the Astra Honda rider.
Arwin Sanjaya and Irfan Ardiansa completing that 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's Indonesia's day at the moment. Astra Honda Racing with the Kawasaki of Andy Mohammed Fadley.
Up the inside. Great move by Fadley there.
McLeod limps into the pits.
Yeah, let's just see if she gives away any body language as to what the issue is. Still changing down the gear, so it looks like it was running. But what the problem was, don't know.
Andy Mohammed Fadley leads, approaching the halfway point, and he's just beginning to pull out just a little bit of a gap over Lucky Hendriansja.
Yeah, he certainly is. He's proved that Kawasaki package, they've worked hard throughout the off-season and all last year to make it work. There's Yoshi as well.
This is a story. Yoshi started 27th on the grid.
27th?
And he has got himself up, sorry, 25th, I exaggerate. 25th on the grid. He's got himself up into 5th place.
Well, that's a pretty impressive ride, isn't it? A brilliant ride by Aiki Yoshi there on the Kawasaki, and that just proves the development and how the Kawasaki has come on in such a short period of time. It really is a bike to be reckoned with for the championship this year.
Well, there he is, Ayoshi leading Mohamed Fairozi on his debut, Ray Ratakuri and Rafi Topan also in that little group. We'll just see if that astonishing chase from Ayoshi is able to come to fruition. At the moment, this is P1, Lucky Hendriansja and Andy Mohammed Fadley. I suspect they'll swap positions as we're seeing in the graphic bottom right. They will continue to swap positions as they just play a little bit of chess.
Absolutely. There's still a few laps to go on this one, and nobody wants to show their hand. It is exactly like a game of chess. You want to find out if you're faster than the guy in front, on certain corners, where you're faster, can you overtake there? If you do overtake, do you think you've got enough to be able to pull away? Also, it's about tyre management at this point as well. You really want to just try and not overload that rear tyre. Don't overload the front tyre, just sit there, try and save your energy as well, because if you've got more energy and more tyre at the last part of this race, you're going to probably be the winner.
So do you want to be leading or chasing at that scenario? Is that how you control your tyres?
It doesn't matter in a way. I mean, ideally, Andy Mohammed Fadley is in the best position, but that is as long as Lucky Hendriansja is sitting there in the lead. If he's going absolutely flat out, well then yes, he's in trouble. But if he's holding back a little bit, which is what he needs to do, he'll be okay. We're
looking now at P3. This is Arwin Sanjaya and Irfan Ardiansa. They too are having their own personal little duel. The vivid green stroke lime green helmet is the one that belongs to Arwin Sanjaya. That's how we keep them apart. Andy Mohammed Fadli goes on the outside just to say, I can go on the outside. And then we will continue this incredible story of Aiki Ayoshi. He's not getting much closer, but he is leading the battle from P5 from 25th on the grid.
It's a super impressive ride. Obviously, I'm sure he's new into the championship this year as well, so it's great to see him come in. Probably, as you said, he would have done the testing at Sepang earlier this week. This is where we had our pre-season test on Tuesday and Wednesday, but apart from that, probably hasn't seen Sepang before. So to come here on such a massive track and do the job that he's doing out there at the moment, you've got to take your hand off to the young rider.
He is indeed teenager, 19 years of age, so it is a very youthful 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a very long straight as they come into it. Let's just see what kind of pressure he is under. Ray Ratukori, the Indonesian, is there as we look at Sarah Puech, and she doesn't look happy with life.
Yeah, she's not happy at all at the moment. You can just see her there. Hot as well, hot and bothered definitely at the moment. Boy, she needs some good luck.
Wasn't even looking up to see how the race is going because she wants to be out there. Behind them, that's Arwin Sanjaya, taken by Irfan Ardiansyah. Two little racers within races here. Yeah,
Irfan Ardiansyah is a great little rider too, isn't he?
Yes.
Doing a good job out there, just new to the team in the Astra Honda, and he really is doing a great job.
Three of the top 4 Astra Honda Racing. The one who is causing the slight difficulty for them on the Kawasaki is the Andy Mohammed Fadli. And there is the continued race for P5. Ayoshi is still leading that. Ray Ratukori on bike 222 has a look on the inside. So Ray Ratukori, who's another who we like to see. Rafid Topan also there. Nazrul Izatsu, it was Setu Rajav follows there. So Setu Rajav bike 80. Cal Vietnam in our sights. And now a little back going on between Senthil Chandrasekhan, bike number 18, chasing Anggi Setiawan. So good for us just to give a little moment in the limelight for those who are in the lower places. And 888 Chow Kei Lung, he's keeping up a reasonable battle as well. He's in a championship points in place number 15, and he's got a personal Taiwanese battle alongside Liu Junmei.
That's probably one of the best rides I've seen him have too. I think he's really coming along good, is Kao Kei Lung. So good to see him improving as the racing goes on and he gets more experience as well.
Our attention on P5 with 3 laps to go for the race leaders, but the race leader comfortably is the duo of Lucky Hendriansyah and Andy Mohammed Fadli. So just keep an eye on this one. Ayoshi has dropped down into 6th place here. Now he's got himself back into 5th, holds the tight line. Ray Ratukori tries to go on the inside, but the gate is closed by Ayoshi.
Yeah, absolutely. That group back there battling it out there for that 5th, 6th position really seem to be very evenly matched, don't they?
It will be 2 laps to go as they cross the start-finish line. Lucky Hendriansyah leads on his first appearance in the Asia Production 250cc. The long straight to Sepang, approaching 60 degrees centigrade down on track, and just a little spurt of speed there from Lucky Hendriansyah. It's given him a bit of a lead. Arwin Sanjaya comes through in 3rd place ahead of Irfan. Yeah,
well, he's certainly got a lot of experience. Has Lucky champion in 2014, the Indonesian Championship. He's no stranger to these bikes. Asia Talent Cup competitor as well, so great results for him. And I'll tell you what, he's showing these boys how to ride at the moment. But Andy Fadli has closed that gap down. Good to see.
Former World Endurance Champion Steve Martin with the analysis of what's going on in the AP250cc's Asia Road Racing Championships back at the Sepang circuit. We've got the Superbikes and the Supersport 600 to come, but now a couple of real battles going on. P5 once again. Ayoshi is under increasing pressure from Ray Ratukori. He's got himself back into P5, but several times he's slipped out of that position. Rafid Topan also in that group, Mohammed Fairozi also there as well. But it's Ayoshi who is leading as they come around the back end of this long Sepang circuit.
Mohamed Farazi, of course, racing for Yamaha Indonesia, is the first Yamaha in this field as well, so definitely battling to do the best he can for the pride of his brand.
This is P1, Lucky Hendrianshaw, bike 12. This is the Kawasaki Andy Mohamed Fadli, sticking mighty close to him.
Yeah, Matt. Fadley's closed that gap right down now, carries a lot of corner speed as they go through turn 11 at the moment, and then up into turn 12 and 13, this long right-hander that leads onto that back straight there. Very, very important. Now, as we saw in the 150 class, Fadley will be keeping an eye on the speed and the pace now. Can he slipstream him down there? This is the sort of race that you want to have, though. Just those two guys, one-on-one. Boy, is it going to be an exciting last lap.
As we come into P5, they go into the haze that is afflicting this part of Malaysia at the moment. ARRC comes through the haze. He is still in P5. We are on the final lap now, and Andy Mohamed Fadli has made a move. 7 or 8 bike lengths clear of Lucky Hendrianshaw as they go over the start-finish line for the final time. Yeah,
Andy Mohamed Fadli, what a lap time too last time out. It was the only guy in the 25s, even faster than Lucky Hendrianshaw behind him. So that was an impressive lap time by Fadli. Now, can he hold him off? He's got to give it everything he can, keep tucked down, but you've got to push to the limit right now. He's got to try and break him if he can. I don't know if it's possible, but we'll find out soon.
We'll just stick with P1 as Andy Mohamed Fadli, who showed he's got some straight line speed, but he's being closed down very quickly as they come up through the haze, and there is Andy Mohamed Fadli just holding off the challenge.
Lucky there sitting in second position. He's had a bit of a look behind him, but it's just you two guys out there at the moment. 1 versus 1, Kawasaki versus Honda, as they head round the first part of this circuit. Not long to go now, Des, just a few kilometres left, and we will know who will be the winner.
That little look behind from Lucky suggested to me a lack of confidence. He was making sure they're not too close, so maybe I can have a gamble, maybe you can have a dart on the inside of Andy Mohamed Fadli as they come into the back end of this circuit. This is the final half lap in the Asia Production 250cc.
He's gone up the inside, Lucky's gone up the inside, and he's made a move. He's made it fairly early in the lap too, earlier than I thought he would. That's given Fadli perhaps the upper hand now. Fadli's sitting there. If Fadli can stay with him, you can be assured he's going to attack again.
Sharp right-hander. It is indeed Lucky Hendrianshaw who's decided I may as well have a go here, try and get myself in the lead, try and fend off Andy Mohamed Fadli as they take the left-right. Fadli goes around the outside, Lucky holds the inside lane, and they come into the penultimate straight for the final time. Andy Mohamed Fadli and the Kawasaki in the green, in the slipstream.
Absolutely, that was a great drive by Fadli as well. Fadli's going to move out now and onto the inside as they head into that final turn. He can afford to run him a little bit wide. It's just one-on-one at the moment, Des, as they head into turn 14. Fadli up the inside, but he's gone wide, and he's gone wide. Lucky's had to back off. Big moment there. That's let the number 16 through. There's Lucky through, 12's through. Fadli still leads it. How incredible is this? Well, Fadli's let that one slip, and it's Lucky Hendrianshaw who's gone through for the win. What a win.
Fantastic performance. Frustration from Andy Mohamed Fadli. He had the line and he lost it. Third was Irfan Ardiansha. Now coming in, what a performance from ARRC, but he can't hold on to fifth place. It'll be fifth for Mohamed Fairozi on debut, Ray Ratakori 6th, Aoki Aoshi on 7th, Muzakir on 8th, but the singing and the dancing belongs to Lucky Hendrianshaw and the Astra Honda racing team.
Yeah, what a result. Fadli, boy, he sort of he blew that last lap. It was a great try, but he just went in too deep, and then he blew it again on the exit by running onto the dirt there. He had a couple of opportunities. He gave it everything he could, but Lucky Hendrianshaw is having a look. He's gone in too deep. And then, of course, the number 12, Lucky, dives up the inside, but Fadli's back in front. He backs off. If he held it tight at that point, but then he tried to, had that rear end moment. That was what forced him out in the dirt. Give up? No. Hold it pinned on the dirt, and we saw him do that. And unfortunately, it didn't pay off for him, but he got second, so a great result. But winner, first time out for this young man.
Lucky Hendrianshaw, thrilled to bits. A teenager celebrating And Irfan Ardiansyah it was who won the battle for P3 ahead of Arvind Sanjaya. Andy Mohamed Fadli, though, that was his race. Going into the final corner, he'll be so frustrated to see the celebrations from Lucky Hendriansyah.
Absolutely. He sort of went in a little bit too deep into turn, the final turn there, turn 14. If he'd have gone in just next to him, he could have boxed him out, but he went in too deep and just left the door open. So unfortunately for Fadli, lessons to be learned for him for next time out, because he is going to get another shot tomorrow.
Well, looking at Lucky Hendriansyah, the stories of this, Muklada Sarapwet, she went out early on. I can tell you that Seti Rajiv has got himself an 11th place, Khao Vietnam 12th, and points also for Senthil Chandrasekhan. Here is the official result. Lucky Hendriansyah, Andy Mohamed Fadli, Irfan Ardiansyah, Arvind Sanjaya, Mohamed Fairozi and Ray Ratukuri, Indonesia 1 through 6. Ayuki Ayoshi, what a performance, started right down at the back of the grid, finishes 7th. Muzakkir Mohammed, the best of the Malaysians on the Yamaha, but 16 seconds down on Lucky Hendriansyah. 9 through 16, Rafid Topan is always there or thereabouts. Nazrul Izzat Satu Rajiv, as I say, 11th place for him and in the points. Khao Vietnam, points for him as well. And for Senthil, Anggi Setiawan just getting ahead of Senthil. Chow Hei Lung, as you said, very good performance for Hei Lung. A point for Chinese Taipei. Cheryl just outside of those points. Sarpol Nilapong, Liu Jun Mei dropping down to 18th. And then the rest, Alan Harris Herman was 126 down, Stuart Johnson 131, Kevin Johnson 142, great experience for them. But out the story, Muklada Sarapwet, Sutipat also crashing out as well. And completing Mohammed Izam, he on his Kawasaki, he couldn't finish either. But so many individual stories. We've got to talk about Muklada, we've got to talk about the win, Lucky Hendriansyah, we've got to talk about Ayuki Ayoshi. But firstly, well, let's get a quick thought from you before we go down to the Park Fermi.
Yeah, absolutely. What a race. A great way to start off the year. And we start off with a new winner. So, you know, it just shows me that this year is going to be fantastic. And it's not going to be all Astra Honda's way.
Big smile. Big hug. It's easy, huh? I told you. It's always the engineers who win the race.
Yeah, absolutely. And pretty happy boy. You can see him there. I mean, if you're the team, all the work that they do in the off season, Des, it all just leads up to this moment. Up until this point, they'll be going, yeah, we've got this new guy. What's he like? How's he going to be? How's he going to fit in with the team? Is he going to click with the bike? Because it's not just a matter of, you know, putting a guy on. You really have to make it work, and they did make it work.
Well, Astra Honda Racing pretty happy. Arvind Sanjaya also in the top 4, in fact 3 of the top 4. Astra Honda Racing only. Frustrating for Andy Mohamed Fadli. You could feel his frustration as he was forced wide, just lost the back end a little bit. Let's get his thoughts and the thoughts of the 1, 2, 3. They are talking the Park Fermi to our intrepid reporter, Hui Ying.
Okay, thank you, Des and Steve. Down here with Irfan, who is new to the 250cc class and just picked up his very first podium. Irfan, share us, how was the first race?
This race was very tough, and the condition was very hot. And in the beginning, I just tried to make good start and then follow the race. But in the turn 1, I made a mistake and lost many times with top group, and actually, I'm so happy to be in the podium. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Irfan. And coming in second place today is Andy Mohamed Fadli from Menotech KYT Kawasaki Racing.
We've got a slight
Andy finishing second today. It was obviously a very tough final lap for you. We could see that you did try for the victory. Share us what happened in the final turn.
Yeah, in the last turn, I pushed too much and I can control. So I go outside the circuit. So checker flag, I pass with Lucky Kadi, I want to say congratulations to Lucky Kadi. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Andy. And winning his very first race in the AP250cc class today, Lucky Hendrenshaw from Astra Honda Racing Team. Congratulations, Lucky. You're a rookie here in the 250, but you proved that you're able to pull out your very first victory here today.
Yeah, firstly, I want to say thanks to Allah give me this podium, and this is for Indonesian people. And the rest, I pushed too much 100% in the first lap, and I can go with Fadli, make a gap in the behind group. In the last corner, Fadli out in the turn 15, and I can get podium number 1. Thank you very much to AsiaRoadRacing Racing Team, my family, and my friend for support me.
All right, congratulations, Lucky, and we'll see all 3 riders on the podium shortly.
As a commentator, Steve Martin, I'm always astonished just how relaxed these guys are. They've just been dicing, dueling with each other on the track, and it goes, yeah, I was quite lucky on turn 15.
Well, it's because the pressure's off now. They've done it. What a great result. I mean, it is crazy.
Here is the best of the action from the AP250cc. Maglada Sarupuech was on pole position. Andy Mohammed Fadli also on the front row. And for Maglada, well, from the very start, it didn't look like it was going to be her day. She was on P1, but was knocked down to P4 by the time they hit the first corner. And although she's on pole, Maglada just didn't seem to really be at the races today.
Absolutely. It was the young guys, though, that were causing all the action there, with eventual third place winner Irfan Arinsaya getting sideways there. Andy Fadli diving up the inside of everybody. There was that crash earlier on as well. That was on lap 1. Fadli led mostly in the early part of the race. There's a lot of Astra Honda riders up there too. Maglada was still in that group at that point, but then of course it was Lucky Hendrenshaw who got into the lead, and at this point we thought it was going to be a battle between the two of them.
Yeah, it was just 3 laps in, and these were able to pull away pretty much so. And then Maglada, she just lost a little bit of power. She went out, and will be frustrating for her. She will have a chance to get back on the bike for tomorrow's race number 2. But then we had 3 races within races. We had the front 2, Lucky Hendrenshaw and Andy Mohammed Fadli, as Maglada bemoaned her luck. We had Irfan and Arwin Sanjaya, and then we had the remarkable surge on the Kawasaki of Ikiyoshi.
Yeah, that was a great race there with Ikiyoshi doing the best he can. Second best Kawasaki in the race though, because Andy Fadli up front thought, you know what, I'm going to win this. I've got what it takes. I'm keeping him at bay. Lucky Hendrenshaw, new to the championship, but the man on the number 12 bike had other ideas.
So, the Andy Mohammed Fadli on the Kawasaki, he's got in his mind, you picked it, that he's got to get in front on the final corner, then it's all plain sailing. So this is just a case of getting yourself in the right position. He did it. What went wrong?
Well, he went too wide. He did it by too much. He left the door open. Lucky backed off, but then Andy Mohammed Fadli got on the gas, ran out of road, got onto the dirt, still nearly holds it, but he knows at that point that it's all over for him. He picks up a podium, but it's Lucky Hendrenshaw who wins the race.
We've had a lot of emotion on show on the Asia Production 250cc. We had the beating of the bike from Andy Mohammed Fadli, a beating the bike from Maglada Sarupuech, kissing the ground because in praise of Allah for Lucky Hendrenshaw, and a victory for him. The podium is underway, and I'll hand you back to Huiling.
We'd also like to invite a team representative from Astra Honda Racing Team to join the riders on the podium.
And for the first time this year, the national anthem of Indonesia.
We will now stand for the national anthem of Indonesia.
So those 3 Indonesian flags will hurt in Malaysia. They've got to do some work. The man making the presentations for this is Mr. Shin Obata, the Managing Director of Idemitsu Lube Malaysia. Our thanks to Idemitsu for their sponsorship of this first 2 races of the 14-round season. Irfan Ardiansa for Astra Honda Racing, picking up 3rd place. Good battle he had with Arwin Sanjaya to pick up a P3. In P2, a very, very frustrated Andy Mohammed Fadli. But the 1st place goes to Lucky Hendriansha on debut at AP250. No wonder it's a big kiss for the trophy. And congratulations to him.
Today's best team award goes to
And the best team award will go to Astra Honda Racing as well. And then we will have the team photos. But a great afternoon so far. A Filipino winner in the Underbone 150, now an Indonesian winner. Malaysia will be wondering where their glory is going to come from in the final 2 races that are still to come. We've got the Supersport 600 and the 1000cc, the debut of the Superbikes here at Sepang in the ARRC. Confirmation. Indonesia, Indonesia, Indonesia. Plenty more still to come. This is day 1 of 2 of the ARRC, the Asia Road Racing Championship